Mswati is the king of Eswatini, Nomcebo Zuma. She will be his 16th wife.
Jacob Zuma is set to marry the king of Eswatini, formerly known as Swaziland.
King Mswati the Third has been the ruler of Eswatini for many decades and also known to be a man attached to traditions. One of the traditions that he has held so close is extreme polygamy. Currently, he has 16 wives, and his household is one of the most extravagant in the world. However, beyond the lavish lifestyle, a lot of controversies are going on about this royal family, and it's making the people of Eswatini frustrated. But what exactly is going on behind the palace walls? Who is King Mswati the Third? Prince Mswati Dlamini was born on the 19th of April, 1968, in Manzini, Eswatini. The young prince entered this world during a very significant transformative period for his nation. His father gave him the name that literally translates to King of Nations, as he was fulfilling the prophecy that his role would be to unify his people. Being the son of King Sobhuza II, Mswati became royalty from birth. His father, King Sobhuza II, had reigned for 82 years, and it was recorded that he was one of the longest reigning kings in Africa. This, therefore, made him a central figure in Eswatini's history. The man had an extensive family with over 125 wives and numerous children. In Eswatini, this act by the king only strengthens their cultural beliefs that one man, especially one as powerful as the king, should not marry one wife. Mswati got his early education in Eswatini. There he attended their primary school because his father wanted him to be close by and familiar with their traditions and culture. However, after some time, the father realized the importance of the future king getting a global perspective, and so he enrolled the boy in Sherborne School in the United Kingdom. This school was very famous for its rigorous academic standards, which they employed to ensure that all of their students had a comprehensive education. As a result of this, the young prince was able to learn the traditional Swazi values as well as the Western principles. When he was abroad, Mswati got to experience a plethora of cultures and ideas. This period gave him the experiences that would later influence his approach to leadership. Unfortunately, his father, the king, could not live forever, and he died in 1982. After his death, Mswati was 14 years old and was named heir to the throne. However, because of his youthful age, he could not become the king immediately, so he was given the opportunity to govern with a regency until he reached maturity and could take over the throne fully. During this period, every decision that was to be made was run by Queen Zeliwe Shongwe, Mswati's mother, and Queen Ntfombi Tufwala. These three women came together to assist him so that they could ensure the continuity and stability of their kingdom. During these years, the young prince was able to continue his education while also preparing for the responsibilities that he would soon inherit. By the time Mswati turned 18 in 1986, he was finally crowned as King Mswati the Third, and he became the world's youngest reigning monarch of his time. To the people of Eswatini, his coronation was more than a ceremonial transition. It was the moment that captured the attention of the international community. Just like that, this young king was faced with the challenges that usually come with leading a nation eager for progress, while also ensuring that its rich traditions are not being trampled upon. The young king soon grew from a teenager to a monarch, and he had to navigate the complex world of governing a people with wisdom far beyond his years. The political system that he inherited stated that the king held the supreme authority and had the power to appoint prime ministers, cabinet members, and the judiciary to manage his position and newfound power perfectly. King Mswati soon realized that he would have to create a balance to meet the modern needs of the people while also maintaining their traditional structures. King Mswati has done a remarkable job throughout his reign. He has had to face admiration and slight criticism. While supporters commend the young king's decision to reverse their Swazi culture while promoting national unity, the other detractors constantly point to all the challenges, like economic disparities, and call for democratic reform. Polygamy in Eswatini. Polygamy has long been a thing in Eswatini, serving as a pillar of their traditional values and societal structure. This practice is not just a personal choice, but has actually served as a strategic tool for most of the land's political alliances. This tradition helps consolidate power and also ensures that the royal lineage is being continued. Through the simple act of having multiple wives, all of the Swazi kings strengthened their ties with various communities and clans. This, in turn, helps them to ensure the unity and stability of their kingdom. One of the kings that immortalized this tradition was King Sobhuza II, who had over 125 wives and approximately 210 children. His people knew that this deliberate act aimed at getting more wives was not to satisfy some urges or extend his family network, but it was a deliberate attempt to fortify a lot of political alliances and as well maintain harmony across his nation. This act of his was placed as the yardstick for future monarchs to come, and it solidified the royal customs of Eswatini. When King Mswati III ascended the throne in 1986, he inherited this legacy and got married to 16 wives. While his number of wives is much fewer than his father's own, it is still a lot when compared to modern and contemporary standards. The wives of the king usually occur during the reed dance or the annual Umhlanga. The reed dance is another Eswatini tradition, but it is a vibrant ceremonial and cultural event for the nation. During this event, almost all the unmarried and childless women gather to celebrate their heritage. While the ceremony goes on, the king can actually choose his new wife among the participants. This practice, however, comes with its own set of challenges, because the whole world views it as a limitation of their strategies. Nevertheless, this tradition usually comes with a bride price, where the man is expected to make payments through extremely expensive castles, thereby making marriage financially prohibitive for many men. As a result of this cultural clause, polygamy is not rampantly practiced among the general population. Also, a lot of the modern perspectives are actually beginning to question the relevance and fairness of this polygamy tradition. One of the voices that has been very vocal in this criticism is Princess Sikanyiso, King Mswati III's eldest daughter. She has personally labeled this practice as being extremely unfair and harmful to women. She takes a stance that reflects what most people in other societies often debate about gender equality, as well as the role of their traditional practices in contemporary Eswatini. To her, this practice is only done to cripple the women and exploit them till they have nothing else to give. She feels that the process uses women. In addition to this, a lot of her arguments stem from the fact that this polygamous practice brings about a lot of health concerns. According to the report, Eswatini has one of the highest HIV prevalence rates globally. When in-depth studies was done, it was realized that the more the polygamous relationships continues, the more HIV, AIDS will continue. This annual reed dance, once a cherished cultural event, has now begun to face a lot of scrutiny. Most critics are now arguing that the tradition of selecting wives who only add benefits and more power to the king is based on patriarchal norms. This, therefore, makes it extremely difficult for women to have the luxury of marrying for love, and not just to enrich a kingdom and preserve some traditional values. The reed dance. The Umhlanga is a very vibrant and deeply rooted cultural event in Eswatini. It is usually celebrated from late August to early September. It is an 8-day ceremony that generally draws a lot of unmarried and childless Swazi girls and women from all parts of the nation to the Ludzidzini royal village, where the Queen Mother resides. When they reach this point, they will engage in lots of traditional activities, which usually start with a grand dance done before the royal family and spectators. The origin of this dance dates back to the 40s, when King Sobhuza II was still alive. The tradition came from the older Umchwasho custom. Here, the young girls would be organized into different age groups just to ensure their chastity. If the girls lied about their age, they would have to pay a fine. This tradition was created to preserve the virtue of the woman and to pay tribute to the Queen Mother. The ceremony brought most of the women together, and the first day was just about the participants gathering at the Queen Mother's royal village. When the second day came, they would move into the surrounding areas to help cut the tall reeds. After cutting, they would bundle these reeds up and then present them to the Queen Mother. Back then, the reeds were used for the sole purpose of repairing windscreens, and it usually symbolized how much the participants were committed to community service and cultural preservation. After gathering these reed bundles, the participants would get 1 day of rest, which they also used to prepare. This process would involve the young maidens clothing themselves in their traditional attire, which usually included bead necklaces and rattling anklets typically made from cocoons, sashes, and skirts. Many of them would go on to carry their bush knives, which they had used to cut reeds, a symbol of their purity and readiness for womanhood. After being fully prepared, they would proceed to sing and dance in unison as they paraded before the royal families, dignitaries, and spectators. The tradition, though, was not only limited to the common people. Even the king's daughters and royal princesses would participate in it, but they would be distinguished by crowns of red feathers in their hair. Unfortunately, just like the polygamous tradition of the Eswatini nation is being scrutinized, the reed dance is not often left behind. A lot of critics have argued that this practice, where the young women of land have to dance around bare-breasted before the king and the rest of the public, is a cruel way of objectifying women, and it stands on the neck of women's rights and dignity. A lot of concerns have sprung up about why the king's wives should come from such a selection. The people consider it as being inhumane. However, the people of Eswatini believe that this ceremony is entirely voluntary and meant to celebrate their nation's cultural heritage. Based on this belief, King Mswati selected most of his wives from this reed dance. In 2017, he chose his 14th wife, Sifalela Mashwama, who participated in that ceremony. This act of his was done to align with the traditional role of every king in upholding their cultural customs. Despite every controversy about the reed dance, it remains a very significant event in Eswatini's cultural calendar. It gives the women a good platform to showcase their dedication to community service and cultural values. The wives. King Mswati the Third has a very complex household, and his home includes lots of wives who all come from different backgrounds. His wives all play different roles and contribute to society. As of 2024, he had approximately 16 wives. Let's meet them. First wife, Queen Lamat-Sebula. Queen Lamat-Sebula was the first wife of this king, and she was actually selected to be his wife by the national councillors. She also had the great title of Indlovukazi, otherwise known as Great Queen. The first wife is very influential in society, and she actually plays a role in governance and cultural leadership. Her main tasks as his first wife were to oversee most of their national ceremonies and also serve as a maternal figure for their nation. Queen Lamat-Sebula has 2 sons, and they are slowly growing to be very important members of the royal household. Second wife, Queen Lamotsa. Queen Lamotsa is King Mswati the Third's second wife. She wasn't chosen by the king to be his wife. She was selected by the royal council, and this marriage was just to reinforce the political alliances. Lamotsa is a United Nations Development Program Goodwill Ambassador, and she constantly advocates for many social causes. Currently, she has 4 sons. Third wife, Inkosikati Lambikiza. Queen Lambikiza is actually the first wife of King Mswati the Third, which he chose. They got married in 1986, and it is rumored that the king actually loves her. She got her law degree from the prestigious University of South Africa, and she is also a gospel singer. Lambikiza actually founded the Lusito charity organization, and she is constantly providing financial assistance to many underprivileged people. She also serves as the director of the Swazi Royal Initiative to Combat AIDS. She has 1 child and a daughter, Princess Sikaniso Dlamini, who is a notable singer and rapper. Fourth wife, Inkosikati Langangaza. Queen Langangaza got married to the king in 1987. She is also a law graduate and a patron of Swaziland Hospice at Home, which was previously headed by Princess Diana. The fourth wife is endeared to education, and she promotes it by supporting Funzis Fwana. She has 4 daughters for the king. Fifth wife, Inkosikati Lahwala, Putsoana Hwala. Queen Lahwala was born in 1974, and the counselor of the nation also advised the king to get married to her. However, due to reasons like mistreatment, lack of freedom, and strict royal rules, she actually fled from the royal household in 2004, and she left behind her 3 children. Currently, she is residing in South Africa and presently trying her best to keep a low profile. Sixth wife, Inkosikati Lamagwaza, Delisa Magwaza. King Mswati The Third's 6th wife was born in 1974 and got married to the king in 1993 when she was just 19 years old. Queen Lamagwaza is an artist and also a woman who enjoys her freedom. After being married to the king for a few years, she left the royal household in 2004. Allegedly, she was involved in some affair, and she actually remarried a businessman in 2011. All these happened in South Africa, and she has 2 daughters with the king. Seventh wife, Inkosikati Lamasango Senteni Masango. The 7th wife of King Mswati The Third, Queen Lamasango, is also an artist. She is a professional painter, but unfortunately, she passed away in 2018 at the age of 37. Her cause of death was regarded as a suicide as she overdosed on amitriptyline, a medication used to treat mental health conditions. Her death happened shortly after her sister died. She had 2 daughters with the king. 8th wife, Inkosikati Lagija, Angel Dlamini. King Mswati The Third married Queen Lagija, his 8th wife, in 2002. However, the queen left the royal compound briefly, but she did return in 2018 to participate in the Nkwala dance as well as to attend the World Trade Fair with the other wives. She has just 1 daughter with the king. 9th wife, Inkosikati Lamagongo. Queen Lamagongo is the daughter to a well-respected chief. After she got married to King Mswati, she tried her best to actually maintain a very low profile by not appearing in most social events, but in 2019, she actually accompanied the king to the inauguration of South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. She has 1 son with the king. 10th wife, Inkosikati Lamahlangu, Zena Soraya Mahlangu. The king married his 10th wife, Queen Lamahlangu, in 2002. She currently has 2 children for him, 1 son and 1 daughter. 11th wife, Inkosikati Lantentesa, Nolizwe Nobukosi. The 11th wife of King Mswati, Queen Lantentesa, has a diploma in human resources management. She obtained this diploma after graduating from the Institute of Development Management. They got married in 2005 and she has 1 daughter with the king. 12th wife, Inkosikati Ladube, Nothando Dube. King Mswati's 12th wife, Queen Ladube, was an epitome of beauty. Unfortunately, she passed away when she was 31 in 2019. She died of skin cancer. She gave the king 2 daughters and 1 son. 13th wife, Inkosikati Lankambule, Sbongale and Kambula. The 13th wife married the king in 2007 and had 5 daughters and 1 son for the king. 14th wife, Inkosikati Lamotsa, Sindiswa Dlamini. Queen Lamotsa, the 14th wife of King Mswati, is actually a former beauty queen. She was chosen to become a royal wife in 2014 after she had participated in the 2013 Nkwala dance. She has 2 daughters with the king. 15th wife, Inkosikati Lamashwama, Sifalele Mashwama. Queen Lamashwama is the daughter of Sawazi senator, and she got married to the king while she was still studying at Rochester University in the United States. Their wedding took place in 2017, and she gave birth to her first son in 2021. 16th wife, Inkosikati Lazuma. King Mswati married his current wife in 2024. Queen Lazuma is the daughter of the former South African President Jacob Zuma. She was selected to be the king's 16th wife when she participated in the Reed dance. Her present contribution to the royal household has not yet been made public. Challenges of being a royal wife. In Eswatini, being a royal wife entails a lot. The wives have to constantly deal with the complexity of their cultural traditions, public scrutiny, rigid protocols, and controversies. The position does come with prestige, no doubt, but it also poses a huge challenge to women, and it has sparked many national and international discussions. Firstly, the royal wives of Eswatini are held down by many strict protocols. These protocols actually govern their daily lives and behavior. These rules secluded them from the public and limited their ability to travel freely or even make independent decisions. Most times, the wives are also forced to become royal wives against their will. For instance, back in 2002, Zina Malangu, an 18-year-old high school student, was actually taken against her will to become King Mswati the Third's wives. Her mother did not consent to it, and this led to a tedious legal battle and international outcry. Apart from this, the royal wives are constantly the most talked about topic within the media space, especially if there is a scandal involved. Every action and lifestyle they have is being monitored, and it can be extremely draining. As of 2009, there were rumors that the wives had gone on a very expensive shopping spree, and this angered the citizens who were facing economic hardships. This incident made people increase their scrutiny and discussion about the lavish monarchy expenditures. People began to complain that starting from the marriage procedure, which involves buying cattle at bride price, to the luxurious clothes the royal family wears down, to how the royal family manages money, the process is meant to cripple people with low incomes. Especially since Eswatini is facing significant socio-economic challenges like high unemployment rates and widespread poverty, people believe that the money being spent on these things can be better used to help the people. For example, in 2004, the king requested a lot of public funds just so that he could build 11 palaces for his wives. This move was not well received by the public, especially since they were going through financial struggles. These expenditures have made the public wonder what the monarchy's priorities truly are. In addition to this, some of the royal wives who left have actually spoken about the pressures and restrictions they faced while in the royal household. Back in 2012, there was a report that one of King Mswati's wives tried to leave, but her plan to leave was discovered and she was placed on house arrest. Stories like these make people wonder how these women within the Eswatini royal family are being treated. Are they staying there out of their own free will, or are they being forced to stay there? This has led to many people discussing human rights and personal freedoms as a myth in Eswatini. The monarchy system of Eswatini has actually caused many people to have doubts about what is truly happening. Some citizens still say that their traditions are a pillar of cultural identity, while some international observers are constantly challenging their practices and also calling for many changes to be made so that they can align with contemporary democratic principles and human rights standards. What do you think? Are these criticisms justified, or are people just misunderstanding Eswatini traditions? Do you think the king will make any changes, or will the monarchy remain the way it is? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more thought-provoking discussions.